You remember me having the grass cutting issue at the corner of Franklin Heights and Center Road? Mr. Hughes looked up the ownership of that property. I wish I had copies here to show you because it's kind of ridiculous, but there's two little slivers or two little triangles. The rest of it's owned by the church. But there's two little slivers on that corner that are owned by, who is that, Paul?
Franklin Partners?
Yes.
It's a developer of that plan of homes.
Franklin Brokers. On both of those two little slivers of land, the taxes haven't been paid. I got a funny feeling, and Paul has a funny feeling, that Franklin Brokers doesn't even exist anymore.
Going to get sent to a fictitious address.
So what I wanted to know from council,
Is the church?
would it be possible, that's the gas well.
Okay.
Would it be possible for me, if I go down and talk to the appropriate people at the church, the municipality could donate that property to them and make it all the church property? I mean, it's very tiny slivers. I
Who's donating it?
don't mean donating it, but I mean, is it,
Okay, so you know, the school district, through Ira Weiss's office, who collects our delinquent taxes, has an agreement, a document that this church could enter into to get the property sold. And the school district would then well, the church would have an opportunity to purchase it.
from
When I
who?
say purchase it for taxes or for something like that. And if they wanted to get that, that's the way to do it. If the school district was unsuccessful, one of the parts of the agreement is that they have to pay the costs to get it sheriff saled. But if they were unsuccessful, they would get their money back.
This is so two small slivers of grass. It's not going to be worth them going through. I was going to, if there was a way to give it to them, or, you know,
Well, we don't own it. We don't have title to it. And
nobody does.
Well, Frank, according to you or Paul, this Franklin Brokers does, whether it doesn't exist or not anymore. Look, the church could also do this. It takes a long time, but they could go in and start cutting the grass, put a fence up. After a period of time, 21 years, they would be granted adverse possession of the property. So they could adversely possess it. Then they could go into court and say, Judge, I want title to this property because the owner has not maintained it. We have, there's a fence to it, a fence around it, and we have possessed it to the exclusion of the owner.
Who has maintained that property in all these years?
That's what I'm saying. The church doesn't even know I'm discussing this right now.
They do now.
It's such a small piece of property. I thought it was going to be a simpler process, but
This process is archaic. That's one of the problems we have. It's one of the things that the land bank talks a little bit about. And, you know, there are parcels in communities throughout Allegheny County, just like this, Ron. I'm talking about not tens, hundreds of them, where landowners, property owners next door would like to acquire the property, but it's virtually, it might cost you $5,000.
But this isn't big enough to build anything on, not with the gas well right in
That's
the middle.
not,
It's
that's
kind of a
not the
waste
issue.
of.
The issue is title to the property,
Yeah.
whether it's 1 inch or 50,000 acres.
Yeah.
It's title to the property. And in order to do it, you have to, the only way to do it is to sell it through sheriff's sale for taxes, or get the owner, in this case Franklin Brokers. If you give me the name, we can check the Corporation Bureau, see if it's active. If we can get an active owner, then you could get a deed from them. That would be the best way to go.
the one piece of ground pays $23 a year in
Yeah,
taxes.
well, I know.
And the other one's 38.
Yeah, I mean, it's
they don't
not,
pay it.
it's not a lot of money.
I mean, what they don't pay is
Yeah,
that.
$50 a year or so.
Ron, I'll send the information over to Bruce.
You know,
Okay.
we can take a look at it, but again, if it comes back that the the corporation or limited liability company is defunct or not active anymore, then you're really at a loss to acquire title to it except through sheriff's sale. And that's because of tax sale.
Okay, I was just trying to make it easy that one person would own the piece of property.
And I agree with you. It's something that's a problem throughout Allegheny County.
Okay, that turned out to be more complex than I thought. Did anybody